Everyone, we will start the study cycle with 3 Omkarams. Om. 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 Just to recollect what we were discussing last week before we close the session, I think we were talking about the devotion of the Gopikas, which Swami seems to have highlighted for us to emulate. And we had lots of discussion on that. And how do we differentiate our devotion to the Lord and our own obligations in the world, how we deal with others and so on. I think the parting thoughts were that if we have the love and devotion for God, everything will be perfect. We don't have to worry about neglecting anything in this world, our duty and so on. Coincidentally, or Swami's, I would say, Swami's blessing, I would say, I was listening to a discourse from Dashara 2005, 9th of October 2005, in which Swami is just talking about the same topic. He's telling for Radha, everything was Krishna. Apparently she had a sister called Chandrika, and who was always causing problem to her. She was interfering with her devotion to Krishna. And so whenever Radha encountered, she said, "Oh, Krishna." She didn't even think it was her sister. She was telling, "Oh, Krishna, why are you coming and bothering me?" Whatever his sister did, she thought Krishna did. And because of that, only Krishna existed. Even she herself did not exist. And Swami said in that discourse, only Gopikas and Radha understood and knew how to live like that. So with those thoughts, I will launch into today's study cycle. I will ask the sisters to take us from where we left off. Saira.
Arjuna questioned further on the basis of Krishna's answers. You described the characteristics of the votary of the Saguna aspect of Godhead. You said that persons with such characteristics are yogis. I am indeed happy that I came to know all this. But just as the Saguna votaries have characteristics, the votaries of the attributeless Godhead, the Nirguna aspects, they too must have characteristics by which they can be recognized, is it not? Please tell me about them. I would like to know. At this, Nanda Kumara, Krishna, the son of Nanda, of lovely form, replied, Arjuna, the votaries of the Nirguna aspects must acquire full control of their senses. Next, they must be unaffected by circumstances. Third, they must be of service to others in distress. Such will be the nature of the upasakas of Akshara, devotees of the changeless, the imperishable. Readers might therefore infer that the characteristics of the votaries of Saguna and Nirguna, or Akshara aspects of Godhead, are all identical. Arjuna was overjoyed at Krishna's reply. He exclaimed, I have now clearly understood this point, but I want you to tell me how I ought to proceed, how I must act to win the Lord's grace, and fell at the feet of Krishna. Narayana lifted Arjuna and said this to him. Arjuna, he said, You have no need now for acquiring the characteristics of either of these. They are not within easy reach. I shall tell you of a path that is easier than these two. That path will surely confer on you my grace.
Thank you, sisters. Auntie, shall we read the Telugu, Auntie?
Yeah, sure. Sairam, please.
Sorry.
This is chapter 22, second. The first sentence like this. దీనిని పురస్కరించుకొని అర్జునుడు తిరిగి ప్రశ్న వేయు ఆరంభించెను.
So, considering this, following this, Arjuna again started asking questions to Krishna.
గోపాల, సగుణోపాసన యొక్క లక్షణములను ముచ్చటగా వివరించితివి.
Oh, Gopala, you have explained to us completely what the characteristics are of the attributeful worship.
చాలా ఆనందము.
I'm so glad.
అయితే సగుణోపాసకులకు ఉండిన లక్షణముల వలె నిర్గుణోపాసనకులు కూడా కొన్ని లక్షణములు ఉండును కదా.
Just as there are characteristics for the people or the devotees who follow the attributeful worship, there must be attributes for the characteristics. There should be characteristics for the devotees who follow the attribute-less worship.
కనుక దయచేసి నిర్గుణోపాసకుల లక్షణములు ఎట్టివో సెలవిమ్ము.
So please kindly explain to me what the characteristics are of the attribute-less worship, the devotees of attribute-less worship.
ఆనందముగా విందును తెలుసుకొందును.
Listen with bliss, I will explain to you, Krishna said.
అందులకు నందకుమారుడు మందహాసములతో ఇట్లు వివరించెను.
So Krishna with smilingly explained this manner.
బావా, అర్జున, నిర్గుణోపాసకునిలో మొదటి లక్షణము ఇంద్రియములను తన అధీనము ఉంచుకొనవలెను.
Oh brother-in-law Arjuna, for the devotees who follow the attribute-less worship, in the first place, they should have their senses under control.
రెండవది, సమస్త పరిస్థితుల్లోనూ సమాన బుద్ధి కలిగి ఉండవలెను.
In all circumstances, they should have an equanimous state of mind.
ఇక మూడవది, కష్ట సుఖములందును కష్ట నిష్ఠూరములందును అందరికీ ఉపకారిగానే ఉండవలెను.
Then the third one is, even if there are difficulties or happiness or loss, or even if people are blaming them and they are subject to harsh words, they should always be helping everyone.
ఇట్టి మూడు లక్షణములు కలవాడు అక్షరోపాసకుడని తలంచుము.
The one who has these three characteristics can be said to be one who worships the attribute-less form or the Akshara form of the Lord.
Imperishable Lord. Yeah.
Imperishable.
ఇవి నిర్గుణోపాసకునికి లక్షణములు.
These are the characteristics of the devotee who follows the attribute-less worship.
పాసుకులను నిర్గుణోపాసకులను ఒకటియే అని పాఠకులు భావించవలెను.
The students should understand that Akshara worship as well as Nirguna worship, that's worship of the imperishable and the worship of the attributeless are the same.
One and the same. విన్నంత మాత్రముచే అర్జునుడు ఆనందమును పట్టలేక,
as soon as he heard, Arjuna could not bear the joy.
బావా, నీవు తెలిపిన సగుణ నిర్గుణోపాసకుల లక్షణములు రెండిటిని పూర్తిగా అర్థము చేసుకుంటుని.
I have understood very completely all the characteristics which you have explained as belonging to the worship of those who worship the attributeful Lord and those who worship the attributeless Lord.
కానీ నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏ రీతిగా ప్రవర్తించవలనో, ఎట్లు చేసిన నీ అనుగ్రహమునకు పాత్రుడు కాగలనో తెలుపుడు.
Now, please tell me how I can go about earning your grace.
అని పాదములపై వ్రాలినాడు.
And he fell at his feet and prayed.
అప్పుడు నారాయణుడు నరుడైన అర్జునుని లేవనెత్తుతూ, అర్జున, సగుణ నిర్గుణోపాసకుల లక్షణములు రెండు నీకిప్పుడు అవసరం లేదు.
Narayana, the Lord, lifted up the human, the Nara, Arjuna, and told him, Arjuna, you don't have, these two are not essential for you.
అవి అంత సులభము కావు.
They are not very easy for you to attain.
దానికంటేనూ సులభమైన మార్గం ఒకటి తెలుపుదును.
I will tell you something much more easier for you to follow.
అట్లు నీవు చేసిదివని తప్పక నా అనుగ్రహమునకు గురి కాగలవు.
If you practice it without failing, you will become, you will have my grace.
ఏమనా నీ మనోబుద్ధులు నా యందు ఉంచుము.
You keep your mind and your buddhi on me.
అది నీ చేత కాకపోయేనని
If it's not possible for you,
అహంకారమును వదలి భగవదర్థ కర్మములను చేయుము.
Giving up your ahankara or ego, you do the work of the Lord.
అదియో నీకు కష్టమని తెలించినా,
even if you find that difficult,
సాధ్యము కాదని భావించినా,
that it's not possible for you to do, if you think so,
సమస్త కర్మ ఫలములను కృష్ణార్పణమని నాకే వదలము.
offer all the fruits of your actions to me, saying, these are offered to the Lord, saying Krishna Arpana.
ఈ పదము కేవలం మాటలతో కాక,
these words should not be simple, just words alone.
మనోవాక్కాయ కర్మలతో చేయవలెను సుమా.
You have to do it with your mind, speech, and action.
ఇందులో ఏ ఒక్కటి చేసినను చాలు.
If you do just one of them, that's good enough.
Yeah, I think we stop there.
Yeah, I think we have gone past, Auntie.
Past.
We went to the answer also a little bit.
Yeah, sorry.
But okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sairam, if you don't mind, why don't we take it paragraph by paragraph, please? It's too much.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, we can go by one paragraph after one paragraph. That would be better for everybody to understand. First and second and third separately. Sairam.
yes, Sairam. Anyone can share your thoughts. Let's take the first paragraph, where Krishna is actually, Arjuna is just asking a question. And so I think all of us must be very clear about the characteristics of the devotee who worships the Lord with attributes.
Brother, hello.
Yes, brother Deepak.
Brother, yes. So I think like from 12th chapter, what I understand is like I came across attribute nature of God and attributeless nature of God, people who worship these two. So can we say that, okay, if I pray a form of God, like Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, or any form, if I attribute God to associate with some form, then it comes under attribute nature of worship? Or should I like how we see this attributes and then attributeless nature of God?
I think, brother, this is actually Geetha Vahini chapter 20, 21. Swami has covered this. Actually, in chapter 20, now we are in chapter 22. In chapter 20, Swami spoke about Saguna Sakara, Saguna Nirakara, and Nirguna Nirakara. So when you attribute a form like Shiva, Vishnu, and all that, actually that comes under Saguna Sakara, as I understand, brother. But then Swami spoke about Nirguna, sorry, Saguna, Nirakara. Swami gave a list of things which we will have to follow.
Okay.
You know, we should see the Lord as the smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, one who is beyond the, you know, sun and so on.
Because when when I say attributes, then like we say Karuna Sagara, you know, we assign these attributes, right? Like Karuna, Prema. God is a kind of form, you know, who is associated with all these attributes. So attributeless nature of God. I don't know, like, should we remove all these attributes like kindness, all that, and then how to understand that, or it is just associated with only form?
I think so. I think you're asking questions because I think you have recently joined. I think some of the discussions we have discussed in the past.
Okay,
I will ask others to share. Anyone would like to share based on whatever we have discussed and studied in the past? Should we give up the form? I think that's the question brother is asking. He has gone back to Sakara. What do we do with the form? Should we give up? I think that's the question which he's asking. Yes, Brother Thasan, go ahead.
Yes, Sairam, brother. Based on whatever we studied, the beginning, we need to have the attribute, we have to have the form. And once you started to practice and everything, then Swami saying, we have to move on to the attributeless. Because Lord doesn't have any attribute, he doesn't have any form. But beginning stage, in order to concentrate the Lord, we have to have the form. Then eventually everyone supposed to move to the attributeless. Thank you, Saira.
Okay, thank you, brother. Anyone else would like to share a thought? Maybe no one wants to give up the form.
Sairam,
Yes,
Swami
sister.
also said in the past just that for God, the form or formless, God doesn't have any differentiation at all. Both are same. And we studied and concluded that these are different stages to reach the destination. That's what Brother Basan also indicated, that we have to start with the form and then move on to the different 4 stages and get into the formless. So actually, even though we think that these are form and formless are 2 separate things, actually these are the steps in the ladder to reach the destination. That's my understanding, brother. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, sister, thank you. Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Sairam, to move from Saguna to Nirguna, you have to come out of body consciousness. When you have body consciousness, you will be more comfortable with the Saguna attribute state of the Lord. But when you become to Nirguna, totally it's experiential. You experience the divinity that comes from within you, which blossoms, and you start experiencing the divine energy. That's the difference between Saguna and Nirguna.
Thank you very much, Auntie.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to share any thoughts? Okay, thanks, everyone. Maybe I will just summarize some of the things which we discussed. I think we discussed this concept in reference to Meera. Meera is supposed to have merged with Lord Krishna. But Meera always thought of the Lord as Krishna. But we felt that, when she gave up the worldly relationships and detached herself completely, she merged with Lord Krishna. But till the end, actually, she had Krishna with her, the form. So Brother Deepak, the way we understand is that the form will be there, but our focus should be beyond the form also, so that we experience the essence of the Lord. There's, I think, this example which Swami has given. So I will, because I see one sister drinking from a cup. So, see, for example, if you want to drink something, you have a cup of tea or something like that. I don't know if people don't want to talk about tea, then we'll say milk. You want to drink milk. To drink milk, you have to pour it in a cup. Without it in any container, you won't be able to drink it. And without the container, the milk will spill all over. A cup actually helps us to drink the milk. But if we keep a cup of milk and we don't do anything and say, we have a cup of milk, it does not help us. So the thing is, within the cup, there is milk. Actually, the milk doesn't have shape. But because you pour it in a cup, it has the shape of the cup at that point in time. Milk, though it does not have a shape, it is in a cup. As long as it's in the cup, it's in the shape of the cup. But a devotee should be one who wants to drink that milk, which is the essence, which is in that form. And as long as we drink that essence, take it in our mouth, we need the cup. But once we have drunk the milk and it is in our mouth, at that point in time, the cup is not needed. So in the Swami says, drinking the divinity means the divinity should become one inside us. That means we should have transferred the divinity in the form of the Lord into us. At that point in time, we don't need the form. So until then, we need the cup, which is the form. But Swami, whenever he says you go focus on the Saguna, the essence of the divinity, which is Karuna, all the qualities, the human values, or whatever, until we imbibe them and make them our own, which we ourselves become divine. Until then, we need the Lord. So once it becomes a divine, we still have the qualities. We are experiencing the taste of the milk and all that. That's again Sagunopasana, but nirakara, no form, because the milk is inside our mouth. But once we digest it and it goes to all the parts of our body, even that attribute is gone, then it will become nirguna also, because it has gone into each of our cell and fully absorbed. At that point in time, that process is nirguna, and beyond that, once it becomes merges with us, we are one. We and the milk are one. So the form is needed, brother, but the focus is on the gunas. That's the way I understand. I hope that answers your question, which sort of summarizes some of our discussions in the past, like the devotees of Meera, Gopikas, they all were seeking Krishna. but not they were going after the essence of Krishna, and they imbibed that. So I hope that answers that question. So I will stop here. Sorry for the long-winded.
Thank you, brother. Yes, I remember Swami speaking briefly about milk and grass that you gave. True.
Yes. Silent. So we'll go back to the discussion. So I hope everyone is familiar with the characteristics of the devotee who worships the Saguna, which is what Arjuna says he has understood, and he's asking, what are the characteristics of the one who worships the Nirguna form? Anyone would like to share anything? So it's a question, maybe we can go to the next paragraph. Because Swami has listed 3 qualities. Maybe anyone can share what you think of those 3 characteristics. Yes, Auntie Saku, please go ahead.
Yeah, Nirguna worshipper will not have anything to he will have or she will have the full control of their senses. That's number 1. 2, unaffected by any circumstances, happy or sad or miserable or any kind of equal state of mind. Then the third one, you will be servicing everyone, doesn't matter who that is in distress, irrespective of any kind of choice, without any kind of difference in your mind, you will be serving others. Those are the 3 categories because they have passed the stage of differentiating. They become accepting everything as Lord's work, that is Lord's will, and there's no question about it. And will have full control of their senses. As when the senses are under control, you are more calmer, more peaceful, and you can see God in everyone. Every beings, all creations of God. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you. Anyone who wants to compare, what these with the characteristics of the form, the worshipper of the form, attribute full, you're welcome.
I'm reminded of one sloka, brother, from Bhagavad Gita. Like we have in 12th chapter, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam, Maitra Karuna Yevacha, Nirmamo Nirahankara, Samadukka Sukakshami. So a person who has who equally treats both Sukha, Dukkha, everyone, God likes those devotees. So these are some of the characteristics of a devotee.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share anything, please?
Saira Maruno.
Sairam.
The first point is you must have full control over your senses. When you have full control of your senses, you will never be affected by any kind of happiness, sadness, all these pleasing or pleasant or unpleasant circumstances will not disturb you. And then the next one, without any difference in your mind, you should be able to, like Mother Teresa, even she was serving the leprosy people, the patients, without any hesitation. Thank you.
Sai Ram, Aunty, thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, brother.
Yes,
Just
sister.
one question here, please. The third one says, the third Nirguna aspect says, we must be of service to others in distress. That is correct. That's the what Swami is saying.
So in Swami is telling in Telugu, Swami
కష్ట
says, yes, Aunty.
మూడవది కష్ట సుఖములందును కష్ట నిష్ఠూరములందును అందరికీ ఉపకారిగానే ఉండవలెను. It's the third one.
So it's slightly different, I think, sister. Swami says, when even in spite of difficulties and calamities, one should be of help to others. Okay, it's not necessarily others are in trouble. When we are in trouble also, we should be able
Yes,
to help
that's the
others.
thing.
That is, yes, correct.
That's the way Swami is telling, but I don't think it has come through in the translation.
Yes.
Oh, so
that makes sense.
we
Yeah.
have, even when we are in trouble.
When we are in trouble, Aunt, not even when we are in trouble, when we are
trouble.
yeah, when we are suffering, at that time also we should be of help to others.
And as for the second attribute, like unaffected by any circumstances, that
Yes.
will cover for you to service to others, even you won't feel it, right? That's
Exactly.
the second one.
Yes.
Thank you, Simon.
Actually, each of those actually each one actually helps the next
Helping
one.
the other one, yeah.
When he maintains equanimity in all kinds of circumstances, and even if the person himself is in difficulties or in any problem, must be able to help others. That's what Swami is trying to tell here. Saira.
Thank you, Auntie.
But here
Yes,
it
Uncle.
says others in distress. No, even you are in distress.
Yes, others, when they are not in difficulty, you don't have to help them. Okay, then if you're helping them, there's something else, something is wrong. When you are in trouble, you should be able to
Yes,
help.
you still you have to continue to do it. Yeah.
Continue to help others.
Yes, Uncle Gopalan, please.
Sai Ram. I'm
Sai
just wondering, would Harichandra would qualify for this what Swami says as these qualities?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a Harishchandra means I don't know. Of course, he was totally unaffected by his problems. He was true to maintaining the truth and his word. He struggled, but he was willing to sacrifice go to any extent to support dharma, what he considered as dharma. Yes, Uncle.
Sai,
Yes.
this reminds me, I don't know if Bhagawan said or it was about Mother Teresa when she went to help a lady with some food. She took half portion because she knows that my neighbor is like in the same situation, they don't have food. So she shared that food where she was needing help, but she remembered the neighbor who also needed help. So I don't know if that's what we are discussing, that I am in distress. However, I didn't forget other people who may need and whatever help I can extend to them. I don't know if you know of that situation. It's a real.
We just know it, sister, now.
Sorry?
Now we know.
Oh, now you know. Yeah, I am pretty sure. I think I was listening to Mother Teresa. That's where she talked about that. People don't need to really see God, but when you see God and see other people's pain and feel as your pain, you have achieved that wisdom.
Yes, sister. Thank you. Yes, Saira.
That is how I thought That.
Sai Ram, if in the Telugu, what is the difference between, I think Swami says, Kashta Sukha Mulandunu and Kashta Nistura Mulandunu?
Auntie, can you?
నిష్ఠూరం అంటే కష్ట నిష్ఠూరములందును.
Suffering.
సఫరింగ్, కష్ట నిష్ఠూరం. కష్ట సుఖములు, we can translate it as circumstances where one goes through happiness or sorrow. కష్ట సుఖములు. కష్ట నిష్ఠూరములందును. What does he say? నిష్ఠూరం, ఉపకారిగానే ఉండవు.
So the
నిష్ఠూరం అంటే ఏం చేస్తున్నారు చెప్పు.
నిష్ఠూరం అంటే పెరిసిస్టెన్స్ అనుకుంటాను. పెరిసిస్టెన్స్ ఎందుకంటే అంటే నాది తెలుగు భాషే. వైజాగ్ లో వాటిలో చెప్తుండేవారు జనాలు, పలానా అతను నియమ నిష్ఠూరాలు అనేవారు కదా. సో పెర్సిస్టెన్స్.
నిష్ఠూరత means harshness.
ఎందుకంటే
during harsh moments also one should be persistent. Is what I feel.
So brother, the question is, Swami has used word kashta sukhamulandunu, kashta nishturamulandunu. Swami has used. So if the sukha which is part of kashta and sukha which is a part of the nishtura which is also part of kashta. So that's
very harsh, difficult situation. Can we take it as kashta nishturamayna kashta, nishturamayna kashta?
So the way I understood, Auntie, when we are in difficulties, sometimes the difficulty also, some difficulties are not as difficult. They are very comfortable difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means they are bearable. They are bearable difficulties. The other one is completely unbearable.
Unbearable circumstances.
Oh, that is clear.
See, it starts with difficulty only. Some difficulties are easy to handle difficulties.
Overcome, yeah.
That time also you should help people. Then there can be difficulties which are just completely harsh, unbearable. Even in that time you should be helping. So for example, I didn't eat enough, I am sharing. Then I am starving, but I am also giving my food away. It's unbearable hunger. Even at that time, you give the food away. I think there is a story of, Janaka having a dream or something like that.
Rantideva. I think the story. I think it comes.
Can you say it?
I don't remember exactly, but he was in great difficulty, Rantideva. He had hardly any food for himself or for his family, but still when a person comes to ask for alms, he gives it away. That is Ranti. I think that's the way how the story goes, if I remember it correct.
Okay, I think so. I think Sister Vasudha has raised her hand. Please go ahead, Sister.
Sai Ram, so I'm referring to something which was spoken earlier. I think Sister Sakku Gopal, you mentioned about patients with leprosy and Mother Teresa. I actually volunteered at the different homes with Mother Teresa for about 5 years when I was studying medical college in Calcutta. So that was a really eye-opening experience. But what I would like to say was, yes, she was kind of stoic. She was unfazed by what was going on. Calcutta was always the epicenter of a lot of politics, controversy, religious, non-religious, all kinds of stuff going on. She was right in, you could call it central Calcutta, or and close to a very busy railway station. But the biggest thing that I noted about her was she was not sitting up on a high pedestal and saying the poor shall come to me or those who need shall come to me. She said, I will go to them. So in fact, even though she was a Catholic nun and she used to wear the habit of the nun, she changed that garb, she adapted it to a sari, and the sari that she wore was actually traditional Bengali, like rural Bengal kind of sari. She learned Bengali to talk to the people. She didn't say, I speak English, or actually she was from Macedonia, which is like ancient Greece. It's one of those countries near Albania, so they speak, I've been there, and they speak Albanian, Macedonian, in English. She didn't say that. She said, I learned Bengali to come talk to you people. And it's interesting that being a medical student, I would automatically wear gloves when I went close to these leprosy patients. And she would just wash her hands and touch them with bare hands. And that's the touch these patients were craving for. They weren't actually yes, the leprosy patients appreciated the food, the water, the shelter, the sympathy or the visits by people, but what they craved for was touch. And I will admit, I wasn't brave enough to touch them without gloves, knowing that it's supposed to be a contagious disease. But only Mother had that, not just courage, I would say so much compassion and love that she touched them with bare hands. And they felt cured, regardless of whether they still had the lesions on the skin or not. They just felt cured by that one touch of her. So her central theme was love in everybody, in every form. She opened a home for HIV patients. Back then, HIV was, there was a lot of stigma around HIV. This is before she passed away in early 90s, a lot of stigma. Again, she opened a home for HIV patients, and they got equal treatment in every way, physical, mental, emotional, compared to other patients. So no matter how the patients were or her own stress, she was again a very subject to a lot of controversy. A lot of ill was being written by her in newspapers, everything. She was I would say unaffected by those circumstances, and she just kept doing service. So yeah, she is another example of Nirguna
Vasaka.
Seva in a faraway country. She had nothing, nobody asked her to come to India. She didn't have to. She was in a place called Darjeeling where she was teaching students. Darjeeling tea, people must have heard of. Very beautiful, like tea gardens, very picturesque city. Didn't have to leave that, come to the slums of Calcutta. Faraway country, but that was her. I was fortunate to have volunteered. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasudha.
Thank you. Very nice.
Sai Ram, Sita, thank you. Yes, Brother Sai Satish.
Hi, Ramana. So I was just going to tell for Kashta Sukham and Kashta Nishturam as more like one is a challenge and the other is a misery. So when we are able to operate even in misery or that kind of real distress that is happening to oneself, going out to help others, I think that's where it speaks volumes on the bent of mind and the approach. And also in that regard, there's the story of, I think in Bhagawan Vahini or elsewhere where Swami mentions, think about this mongoose, which has half of its body gold, and it comes to the Rajasuya Yajna, and there or I think that or another, I'm just trying to recollect where it comes and it's trying to roll on the ground there to see if its other part of the body also becomes fully gold, so that it's a full gold mongoose. And then they ask, what are you trying to do? And then it says that there was this Brahmin family and it was famine time. And when this Brahmin is going through acute food shortage, they have not eaten for a couple of days and they get a little bit of food. And at that time, a guest or basically a person comes asking for alms. And first, I think the Brahmin gives his share, then I think when the person asks for more, his wife also gives her share, and finally I think it comes to their child also, who gives away their share of food, and a few grains from that fall on the ground, even as this meritorious act is being done. And this mongoose, which happens to roll on the rice grains, half of its body turns gold at that point in time. And so it's trying to compare the merit of that sacrifice to this sacrifice being conducted by Yudhishthira, and that's where it says. So ultimately, it comes down to, even in Kashta Nishturam, even in that kind of a very misery or extreme distress state, when you're able to go out and help the other person, then it brings the context of what true equanimity in terms of the state of the person's mind is at the time to go forward and still help. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Satish. Thank you. Yes, Brother Tasan.
Yes, Sairam, brother. I would like to touch Mother Teresa, because that she's not a Nitkun state, but she still follow the Subkun state. The reason is she has a good relationship with God. He trusts the God. The reason, one time she told the few people that I'm going to build a big church. Then the people laughed at her because you don't have money. Then she saw her hand, few coins. This is enough for me to build the church. The reason, only your limitation, you can build a small building or something like that. If you have God will or God Sankalpa, God support, you can make anything. So same thing, whenever she's a good God servant. So she doesn't like or dislike, but her motivation is helping the people. So she believes on God, and it's a good relationship, that kind of bhakti. The God will do anything for her, and she started to help in that way. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, thank you very much.
Sairam.
And does anyone else has something to say about this? The three qualities of Nirguna Bhakta.
Ramanku, you had mentioned about comparing it to the qualities of the Saguna Bhakta. I can't remember, but would you be able to tell us?
So, okay, now the question has come back to me. So, the Saguna Bhakta, Swami is talking only about love. Love for the Lord. That love is so, means of course the previous chapter Swami has already talked about Saguna Bhakti, how do we pray that, Anoraniyam Tamas Mahoto Mahiyam, and one who is beyond the effulgence of sun and so on. Okay. Swami had given, I think, it's 7 or 8 characteristics of how we worship of that Lord, Saguna Lord. But in the previous chapter, Swami basically says, your love should be completely directed towards the Lord. It should not be frittered away into multiple channels to our worldly affections. The love which God has given to us, it should be completely flowing towards the Lord. That's the way I understood. That devotee is not concerned about other things. They are not worried about I am suffering, I am helping, nothing. The love just completely flows towards the Lord is what I understood from the previous chapter. So that's what I have understood. So I just wanted to make sure that whether others had something else which I missed. So Saguna Bhakti is, once you know the attributeful Lord, all your love should be pointed to him or her, whichever form you choose. And it should not be, your worldly attachments, parents, children, friends, and all that, it should not, it should not be diluted, is what I understood. Whereas here, it's again going back to, Swami says, Arti, Artharti, Jignasu. Those three of them fall under Saguna Upasakas. The Jnani is the one who is a Nirguna Upasaka. Swami has covered that in the previous chapter also. So as you can see, the one in whom Jnana has dawned, they will be Sthita Prajna, they will not be affected by anything. They will have that equanimous state of mind, which is that Sthita Prajna state. In that state, they will be of help to anyone, whatever the difficulties which befall them. So those are the two set of characteristics which I have gathered. I hope I will stop there.
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you. So now we'll go to the third paragraph then, I guess. So again, this is a question of Krishna, Arjuna, Krishna. He is asking, okay, now you tell me what I should do. Is the question which Arjuna asked, maybe on our behalf. So it's a question, as long as all of you understand the question, then if there are any questions on the question, please share. Otherwise, we can move on to find what the answer is.
Uncle, there's one in the English here. In what you translated, you had said that the student should understand that the Nirguna and Akshara worship are the same. And I think in this paragraph, it's saying that Nirguna and Saguna are the same.
No, where?
In the first line of this paragraph, it says readers might infer that the characteristics of the Saguna and Nirguna worshippers are all identical.
Okay, so let me check that.
Nirguna Upasaka.
The third passage.
Yes.
That's Nirguna Upasaka, Akshara Upasaka, both are same. You can call it Nirguna Upasaka, or you can call him as Akshara Upasaka.
But I think I just want to confirm that I think it's a mistake here, because here it's saying Saguna and Nirguna here.
Saguna first is
So the thing is, see, there's no sentence like that, Kalyani,
no sentence,
which says the characteristics of both are the same. There's no statement in the Telugu. Swami is only saying that Nirguna Upasaka and Akshara Upasaka are the same. So basically, Swami has used Nirguna and Akshara as identical. But Swami has not said the characteristics of Saguna and Nirguna are same. Okay, they are different, and that's why he's listing them, is the way I understand.
Okay.
So that may not be very accurate, that statement in English.
Aksharopasakulu annanu, Nirgunopasakulu annanu okatiye. He's equating both Aksharopasaka as well as Nirgunopasaka. That's both are the same. Not talking about Saguna.
Yes, Brother Thasan.
So Saram, brother. So according to this paragraph, I think that Nirgun and Sakun, their attributes are different. Am I right?
Characteristics of the devotees
are different.
Brothers.
Yes.
That's why, even the first paragraph is asking Arjuna is asking and Krishna is explaining. So characteristics of both are different. Yes.
Brother Sai Ram, see, identical, that word, it's just wanted to discuss on it because of the previous chapter we have spoke about the keeping the right leg in and left out, but you cannot keep it for so long. You have to aim to come in. That is Nirguna. From Sarguna to Nirguna, you have to come in. So, but here it says identical. So, but where we have learned Sarguna to Nirguna, we have to move on.
No, that's wrong.
Unless the
Just
Akshara,
trying to understand more on that. Thank you, Sarah.
unless the Akshara Upasaka or the Saguna Upasaka, I don't know, Swami has not mentioned it that way. The way I understood was that
Swami is speaking about Nirguna Upasaka.
Okay, that's all.
And when he says Nirguna Upasaka, he can be called as Akshara Upasaka also.
Yes.
That's what he means.
Okay, Auntie, thank you.
Yeah.
So, sister, they are not identical.
I know.
Saguna and Nirguna Upasakas are not identical.
It's not. Thank you.
Yeah, but first Nirguna has to enter and then Saguna will enter afterwards. One is left leg, one is right leg.
Yeah, Nirguna, the aim is Nirguna, Saguna has to enter. Okay. Yes. Thank you.
I don't know, we'll never forget that. Left and right.
So Krishna is telling Arjuna that these are not essential for you. So I guess that's yeah, because I mean, as we were talking about this, it does seem so out of reach for for us to actually put this into practice.
Exactly, and he realizes that. Krishna realizes that, and that's why he's saying, okay, don't worry about that. That's why he's telling. It's not essential means he's telling at your stage it is not essential. Where you are, I think that's the way we should understand. We should not think this upasanas are not needed. No, they are not essential for you at your stage. I think that's the way I would understand.
Is there even danger in us trying to practice this if we are not at that stage?
You can practice, but it's very difficult.
Difficult. See, it's not dangerous, sister. It's difficult.
Yeah.
As Brother Klassen has nicely.
Yeah. Ati enta sulabhamu kavu. That's what Swami is saying. They are not very easy.
But he just wants us to be aware of this because that is the goal.
Yeah.
Nirguna is ultimately the goal. But he wants us to keep that as the goal, but now do whatever else I tell. That's the way Krishna is going about. And here also he has given, we have read it in the Telugu, but I think in English. Yeah. Yes, Auntie Saku, you have a question. Auntie Saku, if you want to speak, you have to unmute and speak.
In the Geetha Vahini, he told all the difficult parts and then finally he said, you look at my form and you meditate.
Yes.
And gave the easy way.
Yes. Thank you, Auntie. So then maybe sisters, if you're okay, maybe we'll read the next section.
This is that path. Establish your mind and intelligence in me. If you cannot accomplish this and find it difficult, give up your egoism and carry on activities that are moral and holy. If even this is too difficult, give up attachment to the fruits and the consequences of all your acts. Offer them to me as Krishna Arpanam, offerings to Krishna. Offering your acts to me should not be a mere vocal exercise. Take care that you do so, by word, by deed, and by thought. Mano Vak Karma, as they say. Do you feel that even this is beyond you? Then you will be made aware of the aftermath. After saying this much, Krishna sat silent for a while. Should I go on, brother, or are we going to go little by little, or should I read the entire thing?
Okay, maybe we'll stop here and we'll. I think we read the Telugu. Maybe we'll read it once more, Auntie.
Yeah, read it once more. Okay. 1 minute. Okay. I think I have read the whole thing before English.
Yes.
Yeah. దానికంటేనూ సులభమైన మార్గము ఒకటి తెలుపుదును అట్లు నీవు చేసితివని తప్పక నా అనుగ్రహమునకు గురి కాగలవు.
So Krishna is saying, I will tell you a path which if you follow without fail, you will attain my grace.
ఏమన నీ మనోబుద్ధులు నా యందు ఉంచుము.
What it means is you should keep your mind and buddhi on me.
అది నీ చేత కాకపోయేనని అహంకారమును వదిలి భగవదర్థ కర్మములను చేయుము.
If that is not possible, give up your ego and do all activities of my pointing to of mine.
అదియో నీకు కష్టమని తలంచిన సాధ్యము కాదని భావించిన
Even if you find even that difficult, not that it's not beyond your abilities.
సమస్త కర్మ ఫలమును కృష్ణార్పణమై అని నాకే వదలుము.
All the fruits of your actions, offer it to me, saying Krishnarpana.
ఈ పదము కేవలం మాటలతో కాక
This word should not be just mere words.
మనోవాక్కాయ కర్మలతో చేయవలెను సుమా. ఇందులో ఏ ఒక్కటి చేసినను చాలు.
You should do them in your thought, word and deed. And in this, if you do even one, that's good enough.
Yeah. ఇందులో ఏదియో సులభము చేయుటకు సాధ్యము కాదందువా చేయలేనందువా తదుపరి గతి స్థితి నీకే తెలియను అని ఊరకుండెను.
If you say that you cannot do any one of them, then you will know what's the result of that, what is the destiny. And he kept quiet.
What must be Krishna's expression when he says this?
Yeah,
what must be his
basically Krishna telling, I can't help you.
Yeah, can't help. That's all.
He must be rolling his eyes. He's like, you guys are beyond.
And sitting behind.
Can't be fixed. Can't be fixed.
Sai Ram, when Mani Aunty read this page, and I thought in myself, Lord Krishna, we started Bhagavad Gita in chapter 1, almost closer to the end. He says that you don't need to do all the hard things and everything. He further and further brings to the people the easiest way. But even though we think easiest way, I think when I analyzed each sentence, first one, that is that path, establish your mind and intelligence on me. That is not easy as we think. That is really a pure meditation. Establish your mind and intelligence. Then even the Lord Krishna says, give up your egotism and carry on activities that are moral and holy. This is the one, give up anything, everything, and get into the sannyasa stage. And even that one, the next sentence, when I go further and think about it, give up attachment to the fruits, the consequences of all your acts. This is really the nishkama karma, the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And in my analysis, I think that even though Krishna says these are the easiest thing, these are very, very difficult. In this particular passage, Lord Krishna covered everything and simply says, Arjuna, that if you don't do this, try this one, try this one, try this one. And if you can't do anything, that forget about, and you go on your own way, I will go my way, kind of. And uh, I thought maybe it's kind of trick Lord Krishna has used on the Arjuna.
That
He
is a good
brought
one,
really deep things, but he says that these are the easy things. You can try, but we know how hard all these steps. Thank you, Siren.
Siren, sister.
Good one, Anandi.
But Lord cannot wash off his hands, like saying that you go your way and I go my way. No, it's not. It will not.
But here the one word was used. You will made aware of your aftermath.
Aftermath.
What is that? Is the
Yeah, that is a thing, Even in Telugu, Swami says,
so you do it your way, then you face the consequences.
In Telugu also, Swami is saying, "Ni gati sthiti, you know it yourself. I don't interfere."
Actually, I just wanted to add, we think like from like our point of view, right? But always Swami says, if you take one step, I will take 100 steps. So though he does all this bit of as if he's washing off the hands, it is more just to cajole us to take that one step. Because if we take that one step, automatically 100 steps he will take. So he's just cajoling us at every point to do that piece. So as long as that effort is there, finally, if you see even in Mahabharata war, he told all this, but he sat there as the charioteer and he had to face all of the arrows that are coming at Arjuna and everything. He took upon himself. When Arjuna was standing with his feet next to Lord Krishna's head, every time he had to press Lord Krishna's head with his left foot or right foot to show the direction. The whole thing of Krishna's forehead itself was bruised, it would bleed. So if you see throughout the thing, actually the whole consequences the Lord takes, he gives us the feel that we are taking the effort and everything. But as long as we show that little bit of commitment, he will carry us through.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Sister Anandi, I don't think Swami washes his hands off because now he is only talking, which is Sama. After that, he will try Dana, Danda, Beda. He will try different tactics.
But we don't like those, the thunder. Sama, Gana, we like it. Thunder, we don't like it.
Actually, when you look at it in the deeper sense, that keeping the one step is the, I think it's the key, right? That if we keep that one step only, you can see a God grace there. Even 100 step or to feel God grace, you have to try you have to keep the first step.
Make some effort. Yes, Auntie Saku.
Yes, Sairam. This is for Aruna. Because we have taken that one step. That's why we are in this study circle. And we have to thank you for arranging the study circle and Aruno, Bhashyamanti, and everyone participating and giving us more clarity in everything. And also I want to thank Aruno for beginning the Bhagavad Gita chapter 12, which Bhagawan himself has been taught you, and you are sharing with us that golden opportunity. What can we do to repay Baba and you? Thank you, Saira.
Thank you. It's not happening with me. I'm not organizing. Everybody is doing here. So that's how this study circle is going. Thank you, Sairam.
Anyone would like to share anything? Maybe we can just discuss what is, I think Sister Anandi has already covered all 3 steps. And given if anyone has something else to add to that, please do so.
In the second sentence, what Sister Anandi was saying was, give up your egoism and carry on the activities, moral and holy. Then she said, sannyasa. Does it mean here to go on to become a sannyasi, do all the moral and holy activities? No, not necessary. You can be in the samsara and then do the service.
Yes.
Swami is offering first, keep your mind and intelligence in me. The first step, he said. If you cannot do it, then give up your egoism. Second one is give up your egoism and carry on the activities, moral and holy. And then third one, even if that is very difficult, the third one, he says, give attachment to the fruits, do nishkama karma. And not only that, he offer it to the Lord, saying that Krishna Arpanam. That is what, and when you are doing that Krishna Arpanam, not mere words, it should be Mano, Vak, Kaya. All the three, Trikarana Shuddhi should be there to offer the things. So what I was trying to tell Sister Anandi is, while we are in the Grihasthasrama also, we can carry on these activities, moral activities, holy activities, without attaching much ourselves to the consequences of our acts. Sairam.
Thank you, Auntie. That maybe I have gone little too far to the sannyasa level, but even though we are not yet ready,
we are not ready.
You clarified that we can still achieve that part too.
Not real sannyasa, but you are detaching your dispassion towards the world. That maybe you mean that way, I think.
No, you can be in the Vanaprastha state. Vanaprastha state. Head in the forest and hand in the society.
No, here it does. I don't know. Leave it to Arun.
Brother Arun, Sairam, I don't know if you can recall a story where it was Swami said Sakubai who used to remember Swami's name even while making cakes of cow dung for the household, and she used to say Krishna Arpanam, and in the nearby temple, the minute she will say Krishna Arpanam, the cow dung will fall in the temple. Do you remember that story? It shows that even what I'm trying to say is the gist is, doesn't matter what you're offering, right? It's not the quality, as we have heard, Swami, there is nothing, what art, what form, is just whatever you have, whatever, if you remember him in any way, he will accept that, to the extent is a cow dung as well. I think, I don't remember distinctly, but I do remember that story when she was making those cakes and she used to say Krishna Arpanam, and these used to fall in the temple, and priest came and they said, do whatever, but don't say Krishna Arpanam. Stop telling Krishna Arpanam, right? Because her word, thoughts, and deed were in unison.
Yeah, it's not Sakubai. I think it's a story which Swami himself has said, sister.
Oh, is it? Okay. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah,
What's the
Swami has
story
said about one lady who used to, at home, she used to, whenever she was doing this cow dung cake, she'll throw it out and say Krishna Arpanam, and it was getting plastered on Krishna's statue. And but the Lord, Swami is saying, the Lord does not care. He accepts whatever we throw. If it's done with full faith, he accepts it. It's not a desecration of the Lord. That's what. So it's a story Swami has said, but Swami did not say that it is Sakubai, but a devotee.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's just I maybe mixed up, but yeah, this was a story. Whatever you offer, he will accept. As far as it's with purity of your heart and thoughts and words and deeds, right?
Yes.
Sairam, brother. I think before me, Dasan has to go. So,
So, Sairam, brother. So what Swami is trying to say is based on this, whatever we studied, you can, to attain the God, either you can do jnana, bhakti or karma. This, when you go to jnana, you have to learn Vedas and everything, and you have to so many things. You have to spend a lot of time to get that knowledge. So that also you find difficult. If you go to bhakti, we know the royal path is a meditation, and you have to follow so many things, controlling the mind and controlling the senses, all difficult for you. When you come to the karma, everyone's supposed to do kind of work. So you cannot avoid that one. Whether you believe the God or not, you have to do the work. So easy way, you surrender everything and do the niskama karma. That is the easiest one. So you don't need to get the fruit of the action. Just leave it with the Lord. Then you will attain me. Thank you, Sairam.
Hello?
Sairam, brother.
Yeah, I picked up yours.
Sairam, brother. Auntie,
Yes.
I just wanted to clarify something. What the discussion was about the attachment, leaving the attachment, go to sannyas level. But you said no, in Grekasthana also can be done. But in a Grekasthana also, after a certain period of time, we learned after 45 or 50, you have to move on to the other level, kind of, right? So isn't that is right? Then that's my understanding. You have to leave the attachment, and keeping the attachment in Grekasthana for a long time. Is that going to work? I'm just thinking to myself after no attachment kind of.
Every act what we do, even in Grihastha Ashrama it's called. When we are doing any act, if you are doing only with the idea that you are going to offer it to the Lord, then it becomes holy act. It becomes, God is, I think we are, complete ego will not be there. We are surrendering our ego there, and at the same time we are doing all the actions, saying that it belongs to you and you are the doer. You are the doer and you are the enjoyer. With that attitude, if we do the acts, even in Grihasthasrama.
I know the Grekasthana stage also they attained a God, but I was thinking in a real world, is that is possible? The attachment will be there, kind of like I don't know how that possible, kind of. I'm just thinking the attachment side of it to Grekasthana stage. I think Grekasthana we have to move on to the sannyasa stage to remove it. So that will come as a sannyasa stage. When you have no attachment, even in a Grekasthana stage, it comes as a sannyasa, right?
Sister, you have answered the question yourself.
Yeah.
It's not easy for us to take up sannyasa without God's grace. Okay, so a grasta who is able to practice certain level of detachment and engage in his activities, only such a person will be able to take up vanaprastha or sannyasa. So, which for us to be able to go to vanaprastha itself is God's grace. So, without that, we will not be able to leave. So, whatever is being told here is Krishna is telling Arjuna. He's not telling Arjuna take up vanaprastha, go up sannyasa. He is telling Arjuna these three options are given to Arjuna, who is in Grihastha Ashrama. He's married and is living with his family, and to him, Krishna is telling this. So all these are only for people who are in Grihastha Ashrama. Because he's talking to Arjuna, he's giving answers to Arjuna, who is in a Grihastha Ashrama stage. So we have to learn to practice it in Grihastha Ashrama. But if we are unable to practice, then the last one he is giving is offer your fruits to the Lord. So that is the easiest he has given. So I think as a group, we should understand how to practice that. Of course, Sister Anandi has said it is difficult. We can't practice. But I think we should explore that. Because the first one which he gives established is maybe difficult to do 24 hours. The second one, giving up egoism, also may be difficult. That's why he has given the most easiest method, which is to offer the fruits. That also by word, deed, and thought. And I think we should discuss this and understand how do we do that. We can say we just offer it to Swami, but is that thought, word, and deed? I think that's the question we should ask, and maybe that's something which we can discuss. Anyone who would like to share?
That is a very good discussion, maybe.
So if we cannot practice this, then Swami has said, I don't know what will happen to you. So let us at least practice, understand this and practice. How do we offer the fruits of our action to the Lord with our thought, word, and deed? So that is the topic for discussion. I will open it up. It's 4:22. We can discuss to the extent possible. We will next week we can continue.
Yeah.
You will have enough time to practice offering the fruits to the Lord of all your actions for 1 week and come back and share your experience. But what can we do? I think something which for us to discuss. Anyone? Yes, Brother Dasan.
So, Sairam, brother, if you want to put it in a nutshell, you are in Swami's hand. You are the instrument. You are the knife. Swami is doing the work through you. So you don't have an ego and everything. And so when you finish the work and everything, you have to think, I'm not the doer. He's the one doing through me. So surrender everything. It's like when you do that one, you are not going to have any ego. Then if you're going to, before anything, you're enjoying any object or doing anything, offer to him. Or just pray for him. That's it. Thank you, Brother Sairam.
Thank you, brother. But maybe I will ask a question. You just hypothetically, you are decided to cook something. Okay. And you cook something and whatever you try to cook got burnt. Okay. So that is the fruit of your action. How do you offer it to Swami?
So definitely that food you cannot offer because you'd have taken some interest when you are cooking. So you fail on that one. So you have to ask forgiveness.
I don't know what will you do. You will offer the burnt food to Swami?
What I will do? Okay, see the questions I should not ask. I asked Brother Dasan because he is the one who said that. But now that you have posed the question to me, so I should be willing to eat it, saying that I have offered to the Lord as prasad.
Yeah.
Or we can throw it away if it is it's injurious to health. Then also we can say, oh, Lord, this is what I was able to make. I offer it to you. What else can I do? You are the only one who is capable of eating. Make me capable of eating it.
Sairam, I don't know. I think if you are doing something for God, you have to be very vigilant and you should have the concentration, everything while preparing.
Yes,
The
I
first step.
second.
So brother,
I second that, Sakku auntie. So, if they make mistake and they cannot go to the Lord and say, I cook like this. No.
I know.
You didn't concentrate.
No, Sai Ram.
I don't know if it's making
I second you.
So Sairam, brother, if the food is burned, either the person is on the phone or on the TV or the mind is somewhere, not with the Lord.
And I don't know, even God can forgive, but not the husbands. Very
First,
naughty.
yes,
And
first
they
you
will
can
not
give your
eat.
husband and see whether he's eat. He also doesn't. Why are you going to offer to the God?
No, we will not. It's a sin.
You know, Sai Ram, I think I've shared this story in the past when I just learned about Brahma Arpanam and my kids were very small. I didn't have time as a newcomer. You have so many things, prepare lunch. And I know I distinctly remember I made fried rice, and that was the worst fried rice in my life I've ever made and packed for their lunch. And then I said, Bhagwan, and I know I didn't make prop because I didn't have time. So I said, if you have power in your prayers, and I recited Brahma Arpanam, and my kids came back. I said, Mom, where did you make that fried rice? It was so delicious.
Oh my goodness.
I remember because I noted down in my diary, and it reminds me every time. You know, when you're sincere, you have so many, Bhagwan pardon you. He knows the love of mother. He knew the situation, and the only solution I had is to recite that prayer, and then I have to pack, I have to give them. I'll see. And they were small, like 5 or 6 years old. But they came and they said that was the best fried rice ever they ever had. And I offered to him, and he changed into a delicious prasad. I never made that. After, when I concentrate so much with full devotion, still that doesn't come out that way.
Sai Ram, sister
Sai Ram.
Shivani, I had said something and I offered it to Swami, and then you saved me.
We will eat it. We will eat. And then say, Bhagwan, I'm not going to waste. There is a food insecurity. People are dying. I'll eat whatever I cooked.
Sai Ram, sister.
Yeah.
Yes, Brother Sitaram. I think Brother Sitaram has something to share.
Yeah.
Something to offer. I hope it is not burnt, but let me cook it properly with full mind. So I just want to share one experience. Just got reminded of one of the student days experience. So this was in my undergraduate days. On one of those days, it was a normal darshan day, and unexpectedly I got first line that day. So before Swami's darshan, we all stand in lines in the hostel and come to the mandir, just like the devotees, and we have our own lines for each of the classes. So unexpectedly I got first line. So generally, if you are in first line, we always try to give a letter or some type of interaction. We want to make the best use of the opportunity. So I didn't write a letter that day, and the other students, other brothers who were sitting there, they already had prepared solid letters like with full decoration and all, right? Like how we offer it to Swami, right? So there were so many decorated letters that they were catching on. And I just took a notebook because Swami has come already and he was almost turning towards our lines. So I just tore a paper which is not in the right shape. It's like just torn off. And I just wrote, Swami, I love you. That's all, nothing else in that letter, and quickly folded and just held it. It's a very small paper. It's like a torn paper only, just like a small chit. And Swami was looking. His hands were full with all the letters already. So he was coming slowly and he saw my small chit and he called me. And he took the letter and said, Tisko. So he gave me Padnamaskar. He opened the letter and he saw that I love you, right? Swami, I love you. Dearest Mother Sai, I love you. That's all. He just read it out and he kept it and looked at the other boys and said, no place, Ra. Small chit. And he put it inside his, pile of letters and he went away. So that is a very nice experience. But as I'm looking through it, through this discussion perspective, it looks like Swami, like that particular day, though I did not have much preparation to offer it to him, like the fried rice that sister was mentioning, or the burnt rice that brother was telling. It is very similar, but what Swami did, I think, acknowledge was the love I had, that little love and immediate, I would say, prayer that I had to offer to him. So it's a simple one, but a very small one. Yet he had placed to accept my letter. So I thought I will
It's an
share that.
intention. Yeah, it's an
Sai Ram.
intention, I guess, Bhagwan is looking.
Yeah, Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Sitaram. Yes, Sister Ananti, I think it's 4:30, but you
Yeah,
with your
I will
coming
quickly
to a close.
say something about this, the give up attachment to the fruits and the consequences of our acts and those things. I thought we have taken the maybe wrong, maybe that food example, if it's a burnt food, how can we eat or how can we offer to the God? But say for an example, with a full heart, and maybe we have done a project, Swami's project or something, we didn't expect that sort of outcome, or maybe personally we don't like that, outcome or the consequences of that project, but still, I think that Brother Sitaram, nicely brought in that point that if we wholeheartedly, with the full of love, if we have done anything and everything, I think Lord will accept, even if it is burned or not burned, God will accept. But we will take a lesson from from the things we have, we have done it, we will take as a lesson and moving forward. Maybe that sort of things I got it, because clearly Swami says that give up attachment to the fruits, good or bad, we have to give up. And also the consequences of all of the acts. If we think about my food is not good, whether Swami will take it or not it. So maybe the purpose of that particular the line of teaching we will be missing. And also I would like to bring that Swami nicely brought in after we came up to the last closer to the end of the Bhagavad Gita. I thought, Swami, now I am thinking that how grateful is Swami, all these points, Swami nicely put it in a capsule. We should watch on our words, actions, thoughts, character and heart, and how to bring purity of thought, word and deed. That is the one we called as Trigarana Suddhi in our daily lives. What else we need? All these 12 chapters we have so far studied, Swami brought in two, the excellent, quotations or points Swami has given us. So this is, Swami's teaching is really a Veda. Now only I more and more clearly understand that point. Thank you, loving Sairam to all at the end of the session.
Sairam, sister, thank you very much. We'll continue the discussion. I think it's a very practical thing for us to learn and practice, because it seems to be the easiest which Swami wants us to practice.
Yeah.
So with those words, I will close the session today, and we'll meet again next week to continue the discussion. Okay, Saira. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sairam, everyone.
Sai Ram, and thank
Sai-
you.
Sairam.
Sairam.